10 minutes, 600 seconds. A period of time that isn't really long enough to turn your life upside down. But it's precisely these 10 minutes that change everything for Lauren Cho and her family. The 30-year-old disappears from a small village and no one knows where she has gone. Even the police are baffled. How can someone disappear on foot in just a few minutes without leaving a trace? There is only one explanation for them. Lauren must have left the village. But that leads to a disturbing realization. Because beyond the village, nothing awaits but the merciless expanse of the desert. And the race to find Lauren in time has already begun. Lauren Cho was born on December 20th, 1990, and grew up in Hunterdon County, New Jersey. She was musically and artistically gifted from an early age. Her great passion is music. She took music lessons, sang in a choir, and traveled throughout Europe with the choir. After graduating from high school in 2009, she studied music education at Westminster Choir College. She later worked as a music teacher at a high school and earned extra money as a tattoo artist in a friend's studio. With the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, Lauren's life changed dramatically. The tattoo studio where she works had to close, and her music lessons are now taking place online. During this time, she thinks a lot about her life. She misses discovering new countries and traveling. She had long dreamed of quitting her job, traveling around in a food truck, and starting a new life far away from home. Lauren loves to cook and travel, and this would combine her two passions. After careful consideration, she finally decided to make this dream a reality at the end of 2020. In December, Lauren quits her job, gives up her apartment, and keeps only the bare essentials: some clothes, a few personal items, and her beloved budgie. She sets off from New Jersey and begins traveling west with no destination in mind. In May 2021, she joined her boyfriend Cody Orrell, and the two of them have been traveling across the US in Cody's van ever since. Cody later said, "Lauren wanted a different life. She wanted to move away from the East Coast and enjoy her freedom. She quit her job and moved into my bus." The two eventually settled down in Bombay Beach, California. Once a bustling area, it is now a small village with only about 400 inhabitants. It is located in the middle of the desert near the Salton Sea. The area is particularly popular with young travelers, and even though it's hard to imagine at first, the small town attracts numerous tourists every year. Lauren decides that she wants to open her food truck here. Cody and she move into a large Airbnb property owned by filmmaker Taro Raspoli. Lauren works there as a private chef and enjoys giving free rein to her creativity. After a while, Cody and Lauren break up but decide to remain friends. Things are going well, and they spend the next few weeks together in Bombay Beach until, at the end of June, everything suddenly changes forever. On June 28th, 2021, a Monday with temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius, Lauren and Cody are already drinking cocktails at noon. They are sitting in Cody's van. The mood is exuberant. But after a while, an argument breaks out between the two because Lauren wants to take the car to drive away. Cody wants to prevent her from driving under the influence of alcohol. Lauren doesn't say where she's going, but she mentioned the day before that she wanted to meet someone. Around 3 p.m., Lauren angrily leaves the van and walks away. She doesn't take her cell phone, wallet, keys, or water with her and is only wearing a yellow shirt and denim shorts. Cody therefore thinks she just wants to let off steam and will be back any minute. When he goes after her 10 minutes later to check on her, she has disappeared without a trace. She can't have driven away because her car is still there, but there is no sign of her. Cody searches the area with the help of other residents, but it seems as if Lauren has vanished into thin air. They all know that every minute counts in the search for Lauren. It is still well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and the 30-year-old has run toward the desert without a cell phone or water. In this weather, it only takes a few hours to collapse and die of heat stroke. The clock is ticking, and no one has any idea where Lauren could be. At 5:13 p.m., Cody alerts the local sheriff's department. He tells them that every minute counts, as Lauren is in mortal danger without water in the scorching hot desert. The investigators respond immediately and comb the surrounding area with all available personnel, rescue workers, helicopters, and search dogs. But there is no trace of her. No footprints are found in the desert either. This leads investigators to question whether Lauren ever went into the desert at all. Since she was supposed to meet someone, they suspect that Lauren may have been picked up by someone or hitchhiked. However, her family rules out the possibility that she would voluntarily disappear without her cell phone. Lauren's family is doing everything they can to draw attention to the case. They distribute missing person posters and post on social media. They also search California State Road 6 in the hope of finding clues to a car Lauren may have gotten into. But all their efforts are unsuccessful. Some acquaintances speculate that Lauren may have taken her own life, as she had struggled with mental health issues in the past. However, her family and Cody believe this to be out of the question. They say Lauren was happy and had concrete plans for the future. Furthermore, even if someone wanted to kill themselves, they would hardly choose to die of thirst in the desert. In the weeks that follow, the investigation stalls. It almost seems as if the ground has opened up and Lauren has fallen into it. There are absolutely no clues as to her whereabouts. On October 9th, 2021, almost 4 months after her disappearance, emergency services search the area around the Airbnb again. Just a few hundred meters away, they find human remains in the desert. DNA analysis finally confirms that it is Lauren Cho. Her body is badly decomposed due to the extreme heat. Unfortunately, it is no longer possible to determine the cause of death. Instead of answering the open questions, the discovery only leads to new ones. If Lauren was so close to the camp the whole time, why wasn't she discovered earlier? The site has been searched several times by sniffer dogs and helicopters, leading some people to speculate that Lauren's body was only placed there later. This is a theory that the police do not seem to be pursuing. Instead, they suspect that Lauren went into the desert voluntarily and died of heat stroke. Lauren's family and friends are angry with the police. They consider this theory completely unlikely and remain convinced that the unknown person Lauren wanted to meet has something to do with her disappearance. Although it could be crucial to identify this person, the police never investigated this line of inquiry and did not follow up on the tip. Some people also suspect Cody, but Lauren's family does not believe he had anything to do with her disappearance. He reported her missing immediately, searched for her intensively, and was not absent at any time. No matter how likely or unlikely it is, the police are not pursuing this theory either. They seem to have stuck to their theory from the beginning. And although Lauren's body was found, the circumstances of her death remain unclear to this day. It is not known how she died, which means it cannot be conclusively determined whether her death was a crime or an accident. There are numerous theories and speculations about her death on the internet, but the only thing that is really known is that her body was found near the village, in a spot that had been searched many times before by investigators with sniffer dogs. This makes it highly unlikely that Lauren could have been there the entire time, as she would probably have been found much earlier. On the other hand, her remains were already badly decomposed when they were found. Although the intense heat accelerated the process, it also means that she had been dead for quite some time. Ultimately, however, these are all just speculations. Lauren's family and friends want nothing more than for her fate to be fully clarified at some point. They still wonder why Lauren walked into the desert without a cell phone or water, or whether she was perhaps forced to do so. It is also possible that she went into someone's house while intoxicated and was held captive and later killed. However, the search dogs would probably have picked up on this, as there was a large search for her, especially in the first few days after her disappearance. As time passes, Lauren's relatives are fighting to keep her memory alive. They talk about the case over and over again in the hope that Lauren's fate will one day be solved and they can all find peace. And that brings us to the end of today's video. What do you think happened to Lauren? Did she run into the desert drunk and collapse? Was she kidnapped and her body dumped there later? Or do you have a completely different theory? Feel free to leave me a comment. By the way, you'll also be supporting the channel because any interaction increases the likelihood that the video will be recommended to people who haven't subscribed to Insolito yet. Thank you in advance. Other than that, there's not much more to say. I wish you a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching the video, and hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, bye everyone.